Hi, Steve. How we doing?
Good.
Looking forward to this.
How are you?
Real quick before we get started, in the chat there, I dropped some links for 3 people that I bet all of you guys already subscribe to. I mean, they're very well known in the community. All 3 of them. Lady Bex is only like 54 away from 1K. Skipper's only like 19 away from 1K, and Dr. Awesome, Dr. Anthony is like I don't know what I said. 39 or something away. So all 3 of those people are very, very close. If you're not subscribed to them, please, I guarantee you'll like the content. So please go give them a subscribe real quick if you could, please. It'd be nice to be able to get the 3 of them to that 1K mark pretty soon. And they'll hit it. They'll definitely hit it. Next, just a reminder, the whole first hour, Steve and I are just going to be having a conversation. We're not going to be seeing the chat at all. If you've got questions or comments about...
So I have 2 Boston Terriers.
Nice. Oh.
This is Sophie.
Oh, hi, Sophie.
Those are the ones that had the puppies a couple months ago now.
And who's that guy?
And this is Roxy. This is the chocolate lab.
I love how they're just all trying to get your attention.
Yeah, you touch one and it triggers all 3 of them.
Yeah.
Competition.
Okay, let's see. So, Steve, even though we have met twice face to face, I don't know that much about you. Are you in Pennsylvania? Maryland. Okay. But not too far from Pennsylvania, right? It's not a far trip.
No, the class was like an hour and 10 minutes from my house.
So nice. That is so nice. Did you go home every night or did you stay there?
No, I stayed Friday and Saturday night.
Gotcha. And it was a lot of fun. And before we get into you so much, what was your favorite part of the class? Was it winning the awards?
Probably the aquascaping, honestly.
Yeah.
The aquascaping was, I was real nervous about it, never done anything like it, and was kind of intimidated, and I don't know, it just ended up being fun and kind of forced me to be involved, where it's kind of easy to like stand in the back and not be involved.
Gotcha. Yeah.
It gave me a reason to be involved, so it was cool. That was probably the best part, and it turned out really good. I was happy with what I did, so that's a plus too.
Yeah, and it was a competition, but at the same time, everybody's very helpful, right?
It was like
a competition.
It was just like 12 people hanging out doing a project together, and then one of them looked the best.
Yeah.
It was just it's just kind of everybody hanging out, having a good time, and
gotcha. And you changed your name recently. You were Big Shrimpin, but now it's what is it? Big Steve's Aquatics. Oh, I didn't put your link up there. It's in the description, but I didn't put it up in the chat. So if one of the mods could please do that a couple of times for us. What did you change it to? Big Steve's Exotics and Aquatics?
Yeah, exotics and aquatics.
Yeah. And
I just when I first found you guys, I was on a shrimp kick. Like, I had a bunch of shrimp tanks, and I just found out my water, I don't know, I just can't really keep shrimp. So
it's hard to be Big Shrimpin' if you can't keep shrimp.
Yeah, I mean, I just, you know what I mean? I'm trying right now, and I'm struggling. Like, it's you know what I mean? It just, I went on a kick for like 2 or 3 months where I bought a whole bunch of tanks and a whole bunch of different kinds of shrimps and loaded them all up, and then just watched them slowly die. And it was like, yeah.
So is it both Neos and just regular Caradinas, or which ones were you focusing on?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think I've had a little better luck with the Caradina than I have the Neos. Okay. Just because I have to use RO water, and so I don't have KH, and I think that's part of it. Not just whatever, I don't know. My water's a little different.
Yeah. It sounds like it. And Neos work great for me because we do have definitely very the water that's suited for them. They love it. But yeah, Caradinas like would be a struggle for me to keep those. So you decide to change it because you switched. Now, what does the exotic part of your name mean? What's that entail?
So I had a little bit of reptiles. I have some geckos and some ball pythons.
Okay.
A few different kinds of geckos and two different ball pythons. So, I mean, I don't ever really plan on doing anything with it. It's just kind of something to do, you know.
Gotcha. It's just a fun hobby then. It's not.
I got a whole upstairs with nothing in it, and I don't want to put fish tanks upstairs, but I can put terrariums up there because they don't weigh a lot.
Yeah. Gotcha.
So, kind of gives you a little bit of more freedom to put them wherever you want.
Yeah, and you have to worry about them leaking or anything.
Yeah.
Not really. So. Okay, so you live in Maryland, and you live who lives with you?
Just me.
It's you. Big
Yeah.
Steve's at a big place by himself. Are you looking for roommates? Do we need to put like a classified ad?
Yeah, maybe like one particular roommate, but
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
it's a very selective process.
Okay. Yeah, I understand. Do you want to tell us exactly how you go through that or no?
Man, I've been struggling. I've been struggling with that lately. I can tell you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, he's on the market, ladies, is what I'm saying, right?
The online dating scene sucks.
I can't even imagine these days. It's been so long. I wouldn't even know where to begin or what to do. I mean, I've been with the same person for so long that I don't think there's any other people for me. You know what I mean?
I don't do anything. I just work and come home. So it's like, how do you I don't drink anymore. So, and we can get to that, but it's like, when you don't go out, all you do is work and go home. I really don't know how you're supposed to meet people. I really don't.
Yeah.
Like,
So, you live in Maryland. Always? Have you always been in Maryland? Have you?
I've lived in this county my entire life. Yeah. I've moved a few different times, but I've never really lived anywhere else. I mean, I've gotten around, but I've only ever lived in Harford County, Maryland.
It's so weird to me because I moved so much, and I didn't want to. I was a kid, but it's so weird when I hear somebody like that there was somebody else who lives like just down the street from their parents' house that they grew up in. Was it Eric Wyrock? I can't remember. Somebody, they just moved like a few houses down, and they own a house right by where they grew up. And it's nice. I just don't know what that's like. So, but you're sort of in that same boat. You've been in the same county your entire life.
I'm actually back in the exact same house I grew up in.
Oh, okay. Even closer. Yeah. And do you really, really like Maryland, or is it just home? It's just always been home. I mean,
No, I don't. I mean, yeah, for the longest time, it was home, but I could definitely see myself moving somewhere farther south.
Yeah.
And
like Florida farther south, or where do you think?
Yeah, maybe Louisiana.
Okay.
I don't know. I kind of would like to live like on the bayou or something like that, somewhere. A lot of hunting and fishing and stuff like that.
Okay. Gotcha. I've never been to Louisiana. It's one of the few states I've never been to, but I do know that from our community, it's got some very cool people there.
Yeah.
Quite a few of them. Quite a few cool people. The Peas, Lando, Brookley, Jess, and I know I'm forgetting somebody else too, because that's what I do. Okay. All right. And what do you do for a living now? You said you work a lot. What is it that you do now for a living?
Plumber.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you like that?
No.
But it pays the bills pretty good, right? I've always heard plumbers, I mean,
it pays the bills. I've literally done it my entire life. I did a trade, I did trade school in high school. My dad had a little kind of business, and he's the one that kind of got me into it. But I've just always done it, and I mean, it's paid the bills. And now I've moved on to, I got promoted like back in January to service manager. So now I kind of manage the department instead of running calls and actually like working with my tools. So that's kind of been a rough transition. I didn't
Yeah.
realize how out of touch with like technology and stuff I really was. Like,
Gotcha.
just used tools my whole life, never used
Yeah.
a computer, and now I'm using a computer all day, every day, and it's just email. Just learning how to manage an email account, like it's not just scroll. Like when you're getting 100 emails a day, like you got to literally like manage your account. Like you can't just let it pile up. Just
Yeah.
all these little things that I didn't know how to do. That it's been interesting.
That's amazing to me too, because again, I grew up just like you with the tools. Computers were my tools. We had computers when I was a kid. My dad was into them, and so we've always had computers in the house. It was natural for me, just like you with your dad and with high school with the tools and stuff.
Yeah.
So a lot of times when I was working in IT, I would try to tell somebody how to do something, and I would skip steps because I wasn't thinking it through from their point of view.
You just knew it had to happen.
I knew that I knew what that meant. I had one guy ask me what the hell an avatar was, or not. No, it was an icon. What the hell's an icon? I said, well, just double click the icon. He's like, what's an icon? He didn't know what an icon was, So I had to draw up a document on how to copy and paste stuff, which is to me is second nature. But so I get that. That is a big transition. But I would have the same hard time going from working on computers to being a plumber, though, by far. I think I would have a rougher transition, and I could mess up more. If you just delete an email, there's probably a way for us to get it back. But me doing a plumbing task of any sort is not. Believe me, my shower, the handles, one of them's up this way, pointing up, and the other one's pointing down. And my kids make fun of me all the damn time. And I know it's an easy fix, but I never fixed it. So they make fun of me all the time about my plumbing skills.
Yeah.
All right, so you've done that since you were in high school.
Yeah. Literally, I took trade school and then graduated and did basically like new homes for a while, and then got out of that, and then did commercial, like schools and stuff like that, and then I don't know, about 10 years ago, got into the service side of it, and now I've been doing kind of a little bit of mix, residential and commercial service. So,
but it's more about managing people these days than.
Yeah, now it's like dealing with like personalities and, I can't work with this guy and this guy can't work with that guy. And this guy is going to do this. I know he's going to do this, even though I told him to do this. And like, this guy doesn't know how to do that, but this guy can do this. And it's every day. It's like
they're your tools now. They're your tools, and learning how.
Yeah, literally, the laptop and my phone are my tools anymore, and then they just tell everybody else what to do. It's kind of wild.
I'm laughing because I always stayed away from management. I did it when I was a kid at retail type stuff, fast food and things like that. But in my professional career, I always, anytime I was offered a job that entailed managing people, I always turned it down because of those I just don't have the patience. I don't have the patience to deal with people.
It was like I got to a point where I was kind of capped out money wise. So it was like, to make more money, I was going to have to take this next step. And it was like, I don't know. I always want to make more money. So I guess that's part of being a grown up, is taking on more responsibilities and more.
Yeah.
But it's like, man, I'm not really digging it very much. It would be real easy to just say, you know what, I think I'll go back out in the truck and y'all can have this computer and this phone. And
you think that might be your future? You think you might do that?
I don't know. We'll see what happens come Christmas bonus time. And
gotcha. It might suit things over. And
if it's worth it, it's worth it. If it's not, it's not.
Yeah. And a year under your belt, maybe some parts of that get easier the more you do it. Just like anything else, you get more used to dealing with those people and dealing with the different stuff, and it gets a little easier. Or maybe it doesn't. Maybe it just stays a shit show the entire time. Who knows?
I just found out it's literally all about the team below you. Like if the people that you're managing aren't good, like you just have no shot.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, I like you as a person. You're a great person, but you suck as an employee, man.
Yeah, you got to find their strengths, because I think most people do have strengths. Dougie, I told Steve before we started, don't put the dogs away. If I mean, he asked, should I put them away? What do you think? What do you think? And I was like, no, I want to be interrupted by dogs, so I'm getting my wish. That's I love it. It's always a better stream when there's a dog in it. Always. Okay, so it sounds like you're doing okay with it. You've obviously been doing it for a year almost. I mean, 10 months.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, it's been going fairly well. I mean, the numbers and the goals and the stuff that they want me that I'm supposed to achieve. Like I'm hitting all the goals and everything, but I've been working way too much doing it. Like,
Are you still hourly, or are you salary now?
no, I'm salary.
Okay.
And it's
Okay.
like, if I've got this young group of guys underneath of me and if they don't know how to do something, then I'm like, okay, I'll meet you there. So I just end up just working 60, 70-hour weeks to make everything happen. And it's just, I'm kind of getting to the point where it's like, something's going to have to give. Like,
Yeah.
I can't keep doing this.
Yeah. Burnout.
Yeah.
And do they give you like comp time if you're working those kind of hours, or they just sort of expect it?
No, I don't really get anything. No, I don't get anything extra.
Yeah. That's not right. I mean, that's taking advantage, and I can understand. Is there a lot of turnover? Do you still have like the same? We're learning more about plumbing than we are about Steve, but do you have a lot of turnover, or has your crew been pretty steady the last year?
I'd say about 50-50. Half of them are still here and half of them have moved on.
So that's difficult too. Because once if you have some stability, at least you can train those guys. So you go show them once or twice, and then you don't have to go do that one anymore, and maybe as time goes on, you do work less. But if you're constantly training people,
yeah,
a lot of corporations, a lot of businesses even just don't, they don't see that. They don't see that if they made things better for their employees and employees want to stick around, that they would save a ton of money on training, and that stability is important. But the companies, anyways, let's not talk about that. Let's go. Let's get into other stuff. You've got okay, so you don't really have a lot of time for hobbies then, because you're working so often.
Yeah, that's why the fish and the reptiles work out good, because I can just do little bits here and there, and the dogs are the ones that are suffering because I'm gone for 12 hours a day, and luckily I have enough freedom that I can come home and let them out and stuff like that. I can pretty much do what I need to do, but it's tough to find time to do anything, that's for sure.
Yeah. And that is especially, the dogs, that would definitely be difficult. But at least you can come home and see them. They miss their papa during the day. Look, you can tell. What was her name? That was her?
Yeah, that's Sophie.
Sophie. Hi, Sophie. Hi, Sophie. Who's a good girl, Sophie? Who's a good girl? She looks like the bestest of girls. You need to bring Sophie to the Clash next year.
If she wouldn't have had puppies, well, I did. The original plan was to bring her, and then once we had the puppies, they were literally like 4 weeks old when the Clash happened. So it was like,
not going to happen.
That's not going to work.
I think I met more new dogs this year at the Clash than people, because I went up and met so many dogs, and I think I actually met more dogs than people.
Yeah, it is cool that you can bring them.
Yeah. That the hotel is good with them. We'll probably never bring Wally because Michelle wants a break from him. So going on this little trip down there is for her is a weekend away from Wally.
Yeah, that's a thing.
She doesn't hate him or anything, but he can be trying for her. Anytime I give her a hug or anything, he's like got to be right there pushing on us, trying to get between us. He doesn't want her to hug me or anything, and
Yeah.
It's difficult for her. so I'll probably never bring him, but I know Lori's planning on bringing her dog next year, and I hope more people. It can be I don't know. We got to work dog into the Keystone Clash name somehow. So, okay. Anyway, so we don't really have any hobbies to talk about. Is there anything else you like to do in your spare time when you have it, other than taking care of the dogs and taking care of your other pets and animals?
Yeah, I used to be really big into hunting. I used to do a lot of hunting.
Okay.
I mean, I would say that's probably my next, second, I guess third, and favorite thing to do. But honestly, yeah, in the last 2 years, I haven't gone once.
And what kind of hunting? What do you like to hunt?
Mostly deer.
Okay. Crossbow or with
Anything, whatever season it is, all of it.
Yeah. I'm not a hunter. Never done it. Nothing against it. Especially for people that I have friends here that that's a big part of their food every season. They they get their whatever it is, their one or two that they can get, and they make venison chili and venison all kinds of stuff. And it really helps out their family for that next few months.
Yeah, it used to be a pretty big portion. I mean, we'd eat off of it for a couple months, but I mean, I wouldn't say that was really it was more or less just something to do. I mean, I don't know, I enjoy eating it, but
yeah, it wasn't a purpose.
That's not the fun part of it.
You just like killing things,
kind of. I mean, it's I don't know. It's just part of the chase, man. It's just something fun to do.
And you're outside, you're in nature, and you're slowly walking through nature, so you really get to absorb some things.
And honestly, half the time I would go, I was just sitting there watching nature. There'd be deer walking past me all the time, and I just wouldn't just watch because I like watching more than I like shooting them. Honestly, It's just peaceful and serene, and I don't know, I just enjoyed it.
Gotcha. I don't know that I've ever been to Maryland, but I'm sort of picturing. I know parts of it, a lot of beach, right? But part of it is like Pennsylvania, right?
Yeah, it's kind of a unique state in the fact that we have beaches all down one whole side of us, and then we have mountains on the other side of us, and then we have cornfields and agriculture in southern Maryland it's all flat and just cornfields and soybean fields. It's kind of unique that it has a bunch of little areas kind of all split up like that.
Yeah. So if you like the beach more, you can go there. Or if you maybe this week you like the beach, but the next week you want the mountain.
Yeah, I mean, you could literally go from the beach to the mountains in like 3 hours.
Gotcha. And where do you live? You live closer to the mountains, closer to the beach, closer to the agriculture part?
If you're like picturing the East Coast and then you can see the Chesapeake Bay coming up, I'm like right at the top of the Chesapeake Bay.
Okay. Gotcha.
10 minutes from the water, I guess, 15 minutes.
Nice. Okay, super close. So enough that in certain times of the year it can affect your weather. Like if it's comes around or something, you can.
Yeah, a lot of times it comes right up the bay, and then it's kind of weird. 95 always seems to be the dividing line. Like 95 north will get snow, and then 95 south is just rain and ice. Like it's that 95 corridor is the line where it splits, and it's weird like that.
It is, and we have that same exact thing here, where a lake effect usually happens north of one of the freeways. Actually, we had toll roads too, but one of the freeways. That is exactly the same thing. South of it, they get far, far less snow. North of it, I mean, and it's almost a perfect line. Sometimes it makes me think like the traffic is heating up stuff enough to, there's something. It's just so weird.
When you look at the maps, that's what it looks like.
Yeah. It's weird how that works out. Okay, all right. So we don't have a lot of hobbies. We don't have a lot of different jobs because you've been stuck in the same job stuck. I didn't mean to say stuck. I didn't mean to say stuck, but you felt, sort of like you stuck in the same job.
Yeah,
You've been in the same job for a long, long time. How many years roughly?
About 25 now.
Okay. Yeah,
'Cause,
that's
I mean,
about.
I was doing it in high school when I graduated in '99. So, I mean, honestly, when I started helping my dad, I was probably 10 years old. So I think
Yeah.
20 is fairly reasonable.
So when you started doing the training, did you already have a pretty good handle on a lot of different things because of that, starting so young? Like
Yeah.
you knew some of the terminology and you knew some of the concepts and stuff of how things worked.
Yeah, I mean, some of it. He did the outside stuff. He did like the water lines and sewer lines. So I was
Okay.
more like on backhoes and stuff like that. So when I
Okay.
really learned plumbing, it was fairly different.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I see. Yeah. Major differences between us. Okay. Well, let's see. Let's find something else to focus on. I'm having a hard time. uh,
Well, I have
you know.
I have two kids.
Okay.
I have two daughters. Um,
Okay. Do they live there in Maryland?
they do.
Okay.
They live about 20 minutes south of me. So I was married twice. Had kids with the first one, not the second one. Haven't really seen them in a couple years now. So that's kind of a thing that I've been dealing with.
That's difficult. Yeah, yeah, very difficult. And do you want to talk about why or not really? You don't want to get into that or?
Yeah, I mean, I've had my battles with addiction, drugs and alcohol.
Okay.
Um, kind of was always a heavy drinker, like from teenage years up, and then kind of stopped and started and stopped and started, and then everything else kind of follows in suit. When you're partying and you're partying, and I guess I've maintained probably pretty well till about 30, early 30s, and then it just kind of got the best of me. And at that point, I was already separated from the first wife with the kids, and she was trying her hardest to kind of like alienate me out of their lives before I started screwing up.
Gotcha.
And then I started screwing up, and I gave her the excuse.
Yeah, all the ammunition.
Yeah, I gave her all the ammunition she needed. And I went to the courts like 2 years ago and filed for modification and to try to get everything just so I could see him some. And man, it was literally just run around after run around after run around. And I gave one lawyer $2,000, and he said I got 20 hours or 10 hours worth of work, but I didn't. Nothing changed, and nothing was better. And it was like he just wanted 2,000 more. It was like, and he kept saying, I don't know. It could be 2,000 more. Could be 10 more hours. Could be 50 more hours. Depends how much he wants to fight. Blah blah blah. And it was like,
That's disgusting. I mean,
so I kind of just I stopped. I didn't give him any more money, and I guess he never really did anything else with it. And then I actually got a letter the other day saying that the motion has been canceled due to my being non-responsive.
so they were sending him all the notifications, and he wasn't doing anything with them.
I guess I didn't get it because I haven't gotten anything to be non-responsive to.
Yeah.
So I don't know really what happened with it. So, but like 2 years ago, I got real sick. From the drinking, my pancreas started giving out, and I was in the hospital for a long time. And they never came and saw me or anything. Like, never reached out. I tried to reach out to them when I got better, and they wouldn't return my phone calls. So, I think it's at this point, it's going to be if you want to grow up and have a relationship with me at some point in your life, I would really like that.
How old are they now?
17 and 15.
Okay, so they're almost adult. Do you think your ex-wife is blocking them from having a relationship with you?
Yeah, there's a lot of that going on.
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, getting to adult age, so maybe hopefully, next couple of years. But, who knows? I mean, I know how much poison people can put in other people's minds when they're whispering all the time. So, I don't know. Best of luck. I mean,
Yeah, it
I feel
sucks.
for you. Yeah, I can only imagine. I can only imagine. And how old were they when you left, or when she left? Either way, when you guys split up, how old were they?
I guess about 13 and 9, I guess.
Okay.
13 and 10, something like that.
Okay. So
Um,
they weren't babies. They were old enough that you had already had a relationship with them and knew them as people. I get the age. I get it. It's just disgusting. It's disheartening, and especially because you've stopped all the stuff that you were doing. The drinking and the drugs and stuff, and
that was kind of my thing. Like, she knows that I'm straight. Like, she knows what's going on. Like, you could at least try. Like, give me a chance.
yeah. Even supervised visits let you go.
I said that on the when they asked me what did I want in the paperwork. I put that. I said I would literally do anything, even if it's supervised visitation. I just want to see my children.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I haven't been through it, so I can't really imagine even what how difficult it can be. But I can only imagine, because I do have a pretty good relationship with my 3 kids, and I mean, it's heartbreaking. That's heartbreaking. And I just wish the best for you going forward. I hope that the kids get to meet you and get to see you. I've met you. We've hung out. I mean, I don't know that much about you, but I do know that you're not a bad guy by any means. I mean, I'd feel very comfortable if my younger kids were around you. And
yeah, I mean, I gave her ammunition. You know what I mean? I screwed up.
Yeah.
I did. It's never like abusive or mean or anything like that, but I just would get fall down drunk in front of my kids, and they would get scared. And it got to the point where it was like, I don't want to go to Dad's house anymore because he's always drunk. And
yeah, yeah.
So it's
so
like,
what made you?
I'm mad at them for feeling that way.
Yeah, I mean, you did give them reason, but at the same time, you're not that person anymore. People do change, and everybody deserves a second chance. What was it that made you just say, okay, this is enough. I have to stop this. Was there a certain event that happened, or was it just
the pancreas?
Okay.
Yeah, I literally was. I was drinking a handle of vodka a day, and I went into the emergency room with a stomach ache, and I woke up 2.5 months later with a full beard like you and a trach coming out of my throat, and
wow.
They were like, "Yeah, you almost died like 6 times, and
Jesus,
I was like had 105 fever for like weeks. Apparently, they were wrapping me in ice blankets, and
wow,
yeah, so I was real sick.
Wow, I do remember you talking about this a little bit about being super sick and stuff, but it's hard to do that in the chats. You know what I mean? It's so hard to pick up how deep that was and how big that was. I mean that.
Yeah, I was in a coma for 2.5 months. I was in the hospital for 4 months. Like I had to learn how to walk again. Like I couldn't stand up, couldn't do anything.
Do you still have effects today from it? I mean, do you still have health issues from it, or
just basically like body? Like my body just hurts. I can't move like I used to move, like to bend down or to kneel down, stuff like that. It's way more painful. Or like I can't stand up for a long time, or I can't sit down for a long time.
Yeah.
Starts hurting.
Yep.
But I mean, like diet wise, everything's normal. Like I can eat and because that was one of their big concerns was with the pancreas was, being able to, I guess, digest my food and all that stuff. But all that stuff has went back to normal.
So your pancreas works like it, and you don't have to take medications or anything, or?
No, not anymore. For a while, I did for months and months. I had to take this like enzyme pill to help digest food, but kind of slowly tapered off of that, and I haven't taken that now in probably 2 years, about a year and a half.
Gotcha. Holy shit! I mean, that's a.
It was crazy. Like I literally went and just had stomach pains, and the next thing I knew, I had a full beard and a tube coming out of my throat, and they were like, "You've been out for 2.5 months." It's like, what?
Wow.
No idea. Just no idea.
Yeah. Do you have other family in the area? Do you have like a mom and dad living close by? Anybody, any other family?
Yeah, I have. My mom lives about 20 minutes from me. I have a sister. She lives about 30 minutes away. My dad's in a nursing home. He's probably about 20 minutes away too. He lives near my mom. Not super close family.
Okay. That's what I was going to ask. I was going to ask if you have that support from family, but not really.
Super. I have a giant family, but just nobody gets along with each other. Everybody hates each other, and holds grudges, and somebody at one point 20 years ago said this about their best friend, and they don't like each other, and it's a big family, but it's not very useful.
Is there any of them that you're close to?
I have one cousin that I'm very close to. He's kind of like a brother, and he lives about 15 minutes away. He's a couple years older than I am. I do a lot with him. He was pretty much when I got sick, like he's the one that like stepped up and took care of all my animals, and because I had fish tanks then, and I had dogs, and he stepped up and took care of everything and paid all my bills, and
wow.
He really, and it wasn't like I was being a great cousin to him at the time either, I was being a piece of shit to everybody. And so he's, I pretty much owe him for ever and ever and ever for the rest of my life. You know what I mean? I'll never probably feel like I repaid him.
Sure. Yeah. I've definitely been the recipient of that as well. So yeah, I understand that 100%. You never can pay some people back, and they don't even care, but you do.
Yeah, he doesn't want anything back for it. But
yeah. But you still feel like you're beholden, that you still owe him, and you always will. Yeah. I get that. Wow, so that's some serious shit, dude. You're a downer.
Yeah, right.
I'm just kidding, man. But I had no idea that things did get that serious. Now, when you see, like a lot of us were having adult beverages at the Clash, does that kind of stuff bother you in any way? Does it make you feel you can watch other people and you don't crave?
It doesn't bother me to where that I want to drink. It just makes me feel kind of left out because I don't feel like everybody else feels.
You remember those days, and yeah.
It's kind of awkward when everybody else is just naturally loose and, joking and having fun. And it's like, I'm stone cold sober. Like, it's kind of tough that way. I'm fine not drinking. It doesn't bother me being around it.
Yeah.
It's kind of social awkwardness of not being.
Yeah. I get what you're saying. Yeah, I get that. I get that. Now, and you mentioned other drugs as well. Do you want to talk about that, or is that something you'd rather not? Or,
it's pretty much the typical. Started with prescription pills and just went from there, and one thing led to the next, and then I went to.
It's an incredibly common story today in our society. It really is. I know the person who owned this house before us. He was a logger. He got hurt while logging. He had a very successful business. He had just he had a lot going on, and he got hurt on the job and started taking some of the different pain medications, the opiates and stuff, and he was in a lot of pain. So he took a lot of those, and after a while, the doctors stopped giving him any. So he went other routes to find relief from the pain, and he ended up he's passed away. He got killed on the job, actually. But it's I mean, how many times we heard that story today where it's prescription stuff that's the gateway drug. It's not marijuana. It's not it's prescription drugs that are the gateway drugs to the really, really bad stuff.
Definitely is. Yeah, I mean it was legit. I had the same deal. I had a legit prescription that I had for a couple months, and then all of a sudden they were like, "No, you're done," and it was like, "No, I'm not."
Yeah,
I might be done with you guys, but I'm not done.
Yeah, you were still feeling all that pain, and you still needed something to.
Well, yeah, I wasn't even feeling. I just wasn't done taking them. Just.
Oh, okay.
Was just enjoying it too much.
Yeah. So easy to get hooked on. All right, we gotta shift gears. We gotta find something something happy.
Yeah.
Well, something is happy is that you made it through.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of that is kind of the silver lining. Like I've even like in my early 20s, like, and when I wasn't, abusing things, I just always had anger issues and kind of just always felt less than, I guess. I don't know, but it sounds so cliche. I know it does. It sounds so corny, but like almost dying made me like thankful.
Yeah.
Like it really did change my outlook on things. I have to remind myself, like, remember, Steve, this is how you're supposed to be thinking now. Like I still have to remind myself to be positive, but it's gotten a lot easier. I don't know. I've come to the conclusion I had to go through what I had to go through to get where I'm at right now, and I'm really happy with where I'm at right now.
Gotcha. There we go. That's an incredibly positive thing. You've broken through that the trials and the tribulations that you went through, and now.
Yeah.
Could you have done the job you're doing today when you were doing all the drinking and the different stuff?
No way.
Yeah. So there's another positive. Because you're not doing that, you do have a job that you hate. You do have a job that might have some potential for even bigger stuff down the road. I mean, so
you got to put your time in, do your dues to climb the ladder, and it's just looking at it as part of another rung. You gotta get through this stage to get to the next stage.
Do you have any aspirations to start your own business? Do you think that's something you'd want to do in the future?
Nah, I kind of dabbled in that a little bit when I was younger, and to me it's super intimidating to be legit, like to actually have all your licenses and your insurances and the taxes and I don't know. Nah, I just don't want to be taxed with that.
You would need somebody else to manage all that part of it for you. You would need a business manager to take care of the taxes and all those types of things.
That's why most any of these businesses fail. Like bars fail because they're owned by drunks, or you know what I mean, or the fish store fails because it's ran by a person that likes fish. A plumbing company can't be ran by a plumber. The company's got to be run by a business person.
Yeah.
Not just because you know how to do what the business does doesn't mean that you should run a business.
Yeah. And too many people probably feel that they are qualified. And hey, you got to at least try sometimes. I mean, but if you already know, I'm with you. I don't think I could either. I mean, it sounds we started to go down that route. We actually started an LLC, and we were going to go that route, and all that different stuff does. You're right. It is sort of intimidating to make sure you've got all your ducks in a row and all the different things you got to go through. Yeah, I get it. It definitely is. It's not easy. So, kudos to anybody that can make it work.
Yeah, I mean, definitely some of the guys I went to school with that I used to laugh and say like, oh, your little corny landscaping business or whatever. And now, they got 10 trucks and 40 mowers and 40 employees and a $2 million house. I'm like, damn, good for you, man. Like, good for you.
Yeah. You need some help?
Yeah. But at this point, I don't feel like being on call 24 hours a day, dealing with people's emergencies.
Yeah. The buck stops with you, and there's nobody else to deal with those big problems. You have to deal with them.
Yeah, I just.
Now, do you see yourself doing the same thing you're doing now, 4 or 5 years? This isn't an interview, as in, where do you see yourself in 5 years? But do you think you could, or do you think you might shift gears and do something a little different? I mean, what does it look like?
I'd like to kind of put my time in managing, doing what I'm doing, and then looking towards maybe getting with like a big, like a general contractor, a GC, running like being like a mechanical supervisor or something like that for the bigger commercial projects,
Gotcha.
Overseeing projects.
Yeah.
Where I'm more managing schedules and stuff, and contractors as the individual people, like just bigger projects.
I have a friend who does that. He used to work for the cable companies, and not like cable as in like Time Warner and stuff, but the companies who put in the cable for those big cable companies. They would run the cable, and he managed projects. That was what he did, and he climbed the ladder. Now he's actually president of a construction company in California. A pretty good company. I mean, but he started out in the bucket truck, going up, climbing stuff and running lines and doing all that stuff. And then he just slowly transitioned, just like you're doing, and to where he was the project manager for smaller projects, and then bigger and bigger and bigger. And pretty soon he was vice president, and now, like I said, president of a construction company. So,
I know there's positions out there in construction management, where they're making a couple $100,000 a year and they got a nice company vehicle and they got their beach house. I know those positions are out there. One day I'll find it.
Yeah. Gotcha.
I just got to put in my time until I can qualify.
Gotcha.
Because I don't have the degree to get me there.
Whew. That was some deep shit we got into. I like it. I like the deep shit. If you're going to get into shit, it's got to be deep shit. And it's your life.
Yeah.
Okay, so we still got a few minutes before we open it up to the chat. You want to talk about your channel a little bit? Is there anything? Are you looking to do more with your channel? Are you happy where it's at? Are you just happy being a part? Because it sounds like you don't have a lot of time to do anything. You're just happy being part of the community. What's your goals that way?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, when I first started coming around, I was like, man, this is great. I want to start streaming, and man, these guys are getting super chats. Look at this, man. They're making money. And, it's a lot to it, and then, you got to be reliable. Like, you got to be dependable. You got to have this amount of time, this day, this, for people to know to show up. Like, the pop-ups work, but I mean, I don't know. I think if you want to grow something, you got to be there every week, same time every week. Like, I just haven't gotten my shit together.
I got that very same advice from a close friend not that long ago, because I wasn't doing very regular streaming. I was doing pop-ups when I could, and I wasn't feeling it. Anyways. So I got that very same advice, and I've been taking it to heart and trying to. You see me a lot more often. Yeah,
you've been streaming a lot. Like you said, now you want to start doing it every day. I mean, I think that's definitely the route is the more steady and.
Yeah, I think so too. But a lot of people can't do it. I mean, I've got the time, being retired and everything. I can Monday through Friday, noon to 2. That's going to be my thing. I'm going to continue to do it as long as I can. And then, of course, these, on Tuesday nights as well. But That very same advice, almost identical to how you said it, was how you told it to me, and I think he's right. I think that's a big part of getting more success here. And I guess it depends on what you want out of it too, though. Now, is this the first time you've been on a live stream, or have you been on other ones?
No, I was on Skipper's one time.
That's right. Okay, I do remember that one. Yep, that's a great place to start, Skipper.
One time I popped up with Mexicali, I think.
Another good one. Two of my favorite people. And real quick, Skipper is at, he was like 11. I'm sorry to do an aside here, but he was at 19. If you don't have Skipper, he's only 19 away from that 1K. And yes, it's not the same as it used to be because you can get monetized sooner now, but it's still that milestone, right?
It's a big deal.
So Skipper's at he's only 19 away. Dr. Anthony is 39 away. I'm just refreshing to make sure I'm right on my numbers here. And Bex is 54 away. All three of those people, if you're not subscribed to them, I guarantee you're going to like their content. But also on fishfam.link, and maybe one of the mods could drop it, there is a actual list of all the people that are getting close. And I guarantee you there are other people that are closing in on that 1,000 as well. So if you want to go, I know Wi-Fi was here. He's at the beginning of the stream. He mentioned that he did that. He went down the list and subscribed to all the people on that list. So, like I said in the beginning, and there's other people that say this quite often, but rising tide lifts all boats, so all of us is increasing the community exposure,
Yeah, build it up together.
Yeah, yep. Because it is a community, and so if we can get those people to those milestones and help them out, that would be great. Okay. Is there anything, before we open up to the chat, is there anything that we didn't really get into that you'd like to, or is there anything you'd like to tell us again, channel-wise, or anything that that you'd like to talk about?
I recently joined there's a new Maryland Fish Club that I got involved in. That's kind of something new that I got going on. It's not really
cool.
Used to.
What's the name of it?
The Aquarium Club of Maryland, ACM, Aquatic Club, Aquatic Club of Maryland.
Do they have Aquatic Club of Maryland?
Or Aquarium Club of Maryland? God, that's bad, man.
I didn't mean to put you on the spot, man.
Aquarium Club of Maryland.
Do they have a digital presence? I mean, do they have websites or?
They do. I think she was saying that they had a YouTube channel, but I don't know that they've ever posted. I don't know what's been posted on there or not.
MarylandAquariumClub.com. Here we go. I'm going to open up the chat and I'm going to throw that in there real quick, even though I'm not going to read the chat yet. I want to, somebody already do that? Nope, I don't see it yet, just in case. There we go. Now, is there anybody else we know in that club, or is there anybody from our community that goes there? Vinay, maybe?
He has, we've only had one meeting so far.
Okay.
We just had our meeting this past Sunday, and Father Fish was our speaker.
Okay.
So that was kind of cool.
Oh, yeah.
I got to do the auction, so that was kind of interesting. I've never been an auctioneer before.
Yeah. Was it fun?
That was kind of cool. I mean, after a while, it gets old, it's
yeah.
It's a lot of talking.
How many people do you think showed up roughly?
There was probably 50, 60 people.
Nice. I mean, that's a great turnout.
Pretty good turnout. Yeah, I was surprised. It was a successful event for sure. I mean, we signed up a bunch of people, and so that's kind of exciting to have. I mean, and we literally meet 10 minutes from my house. All the other ones that I'm involved in are like Scotty's clubs, which are an hour and a half north. So yeah, it's kind of nice having something right here in my backyard.
Yeah. I was actually a member of the Bucks County one too for 2 years. I had to drop it recently just because reasons, but nothing against the club at all. I really, really enjoyed being a member of the Bucks County, and I have one closer to me that I'm not a member of. I was for a year, but they just never. They weren't very welcoming to new people, and they just weren't. I don't know. I got a lot more out of my membership with the Bucks County one than I did the CNYAS. So, okay. So, but anyways, there's that one. That's pretty cool. That's nice and close. And are you going to get heavily involved in that, or like get into the board and stuff? You think?
Yeah,
Or?
I mean, they've said that I am a board member, but I don't really know what my position. Like, I don't know what I do. I just
Okay. Whatever they ask you to do. That's
yeah. I just basically make sure I'm there early and do whatever they ask, and
Yeah. Who's your president? Do you know?
Her name is Mandy Gones.
Okay. Yeah, not familiar with her, but maybe some of the other people are people like Alishan, who seems to know everybody around that area that's ever kept a fish tank.
Yeah, they because she's involved in some of those PA clubs too. So she's.
Okay.
I'm sure there's some people that probably know her.
Was she at the Clash by chance?
She was. Yeah, they were there. They had a booth at the Clash. They were signing people up at the Clash. They were. Like when you walked in the room on the far right-hand wall, like 3/4 of the way down.
Okay. Not too far from Gina.
Yeah, like 2 stalls up from Gina.
Okay. I know, right? We were talking about it. I'm sure I stopped in and at least talked to them. So,
yeah, they were there signing people up.
Okay, so I do have the chat open now, and I do see real quick. I see Jenna said Mandy was at the Clash and had a puppy.
Okay.
So I must have met her. If she had a dog with her, I met her because I went up to everybody with a dog there. Because that's what I do. I would rather see a lot of times I'd rather hang out with the dogs than the people. Okay. And Zen Ginger starting it off good right there. That's the first one I see. Zen Ginger doing her normal thing. Thank you so much. Thanks everybody for being here. We still have 42 people. That's amazing. Thank you guys for coming in. Now's the time. If you've got questions for Steve, if you want to know more about him, now's the time. Ask away. Let's get to know more about him. And thank you guys all for being here and hanging out with us. I know we do have a couple of streams, I think, starting soon. So fishfam.link, you can look and see. I want you to stay here and watch us, but if you'd rather go watch somebody else, you do have some options available to you. Anyways, let's go. Let's start. Nathan says, Rio Stan. Her name is Rio. That's a good typo, my friend. He got lucky. My brother was a daily drinker and had a colostomy bag for the rest of his life and legally disabled, blind, etc. So he has to be 24/7 cared for. Happy to know he turned his life around. Yeah. I wonder how many people have stories like that too. Like it's almost like you dodged a bullet, like you were that close. I mean,
for as sick as I was, like to have just body aches, I'm okay with that.
Yeah. It's a badge of honor at that point. Badge of honor. Okay, next up, Freaky Friday question from Jenna P. So some of these questions are very difficult. I get that. But Jenna's question is the Freaky Friday question, which is, and you've seen the Freaky Friday movies, right? The body switching.
Switching, okay.
Yeah. So that's what this one is. Who in the community, and it can be you and somebody else or just 2 other people, doesn't matter. Who would you like to see switch bodies for like a weekend or a week or something? So they were living the other person's life for that week or whatever the time frame is. It's a great question. I love it. Because people do what you're doing right now. They really put some thought into it and go, who would be really fun? Or who would be, who would learn something? Or,
I'm trying to think who would be good to slip into Scotty's life. Who would be exact opposite of Scotty?
Ryan from Wild Fish Tanks. Because Ryan is like 6. Ryan? Is that his name? Why am I second guessing myself now? It's Ryan, isn't it? He's like 6'7". So
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
So that would be fun. That would be fun for Scotty to be 6'7" for a weekend, and for Ryan to be Scotty's size for a weekend too, he might learn some, not that he's a bad guy, but he might learn some extra empathy from, from that exchange. Is that where you were going? Was that the route you were going with somebody who, was just very different?
Yeah, that's
body-wise.
Yeah.
Body-wise.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, next is Zenny. And her question, this looks like it's a good one for you. If you could only hunt or fish for one critter the rest of your life, and that's the only meat you could eat as well, what would it be?
Deer.
Yeah? You're okay with... There's enough different things you can do with deer to meatballs and burgers and chilies and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, that's an easy one.
Okay. All right. It jumped on me already. Let's see. Big Cat, can you ask Big Steve if he believes in aliens? And again, I want to say thank you to everybody like Big Cat, like Zenny, like all you guys. We've been doing these focus-ons now for like 2 years. I believe January might be 3 years we've been doing it. I could be wrong. I think that's right, though. And there's a lot of you that have asked that same question that you do for a big portion of that. So thank you so much for being here week in and week out, and the support and helping make these shows so much fun. So Big Cat wants to know if you believe in aliens.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's way too big for them to be just us.
Yeah. I think one person said no. I think just about I don't remember who that was, but I think everybody else says yes, that they do believe that there's the possibility, at least, maybe that they haven't visited us, but that they're out there.
Yeah, 110%. I don't believe in Bigfoot and, Chupacabra and Loch Ness Monster and
Chupacabra, I don't know. That one's sort of, I don't know. I'm sort of on the fence on that one a little bit, just because of some of the stuff that's been seen. And it's a lot smaller. Yeah. It's a lot smaller. It's not a big, but Bigfoot. I mean, I would love for there to be a Bigfoot. I would just be...
Oh, it'd be so cool.
Yeah.
It'd be so cool.
But I'm with you, though. You think people would have seen these Loch Ness Monster and all these big things,
We'd find something.
Yeah.
There'd be something.
Yeah. Okay, the Myrtle question. So this is one of those questions, and Myrtle doesn't get to make it to the stream too often these days with school and everything he's going through, because he's got priorities. He wants to have a good life, But the Myrtle question, and this is a tough one a lot of times, and I'm going to have trouble with it tonight, I can tell. But it's, what would I change about you, and what would you change about me? Somebody, Mitch, Scruffy City, who I haven't seen him forever, and I hope he's doing well, but he explained something to me, because I was always taking it the wrong way. Anyways, I'm not going to get into all that. But what would I change about you? Because the thing is, if you change things about people, they're no longer the people that they've turned into. You know what I mean? So you had an awakening. You went through this incredibly horrible, rough time, but you came through it with a different outlook on life and an awakening and just a massive change. But I think what I would change is that you didn't have to go through that to find that you would have had that awakening far earlier and not have to have gone through so much to reach it. That's what I would change about you.
Yeah, it would have been a lot easier to do this when I was 18.
Yeah. You did your stuff and you're still, it turned you into the person you are today, but maybe it wasn't as drastic. But who knows? Maybe if it wasn't as drastic and you wouldn't have had the change of heart and you thought, oh, I can do this again because I dodged a bullet, wasn't that even big of a deal. But maybe it was the fact that it was such a big deal that was what, made the change.
So I know pretty much everyone always says the same thing for you. So I'll just say I would just give you unlimited amounts of money.
Ooh, I like money.
How about that?
Okay.
Because I mean, I know, sometimes money is an issue with you, being able to do things and be involved, and so let's just give Rico as much money as he needs to be able to go to do whatever he wants to go do.
And you know what? Here's what I want to do is I want to be involved in now granted, I would take care of myself, believe me. If I had unlimited money, I would have nice surroundings and I would have, a nice life. But also everybody that I know would have a nice life, because I would help out everywhere I could. I would spend all that money that I could and make sure that nobody wanted for anything that I knew ever. That's where my goal is in life, is to be able to do that for my true friends, not for the people that pretend to be my friend because they think they can get something or whatever, but my true friends. And I know who those people are. And, I those people would also have just an amazing life. They say money doesn't buy happiness, but it does. Because when you don't have to worry about medical bills anymore, when you don't have to worry about your student loans, when you don't have to worry about, you can't go out to, do anything in your life because you can barely make it paying your bills. That's going to change your life for the better. And all my friends would have that as well. So you doing that for me just did that for everybody else.
You can be rich and still be sad, and you can be poor and you can still be happy, but it's a lot easier to be happy when you're rich.
It is when you don't have to worry about anything, nothing bills wise. Okay, Mountain Greenery. Hi, Big Cat's other half. I don't want to say better half because I haven't met either one of them, and she could just be a horrible person. Maybe Big Cat just puts up with her, and he's like a super great guy, and she could be a horrible person, or vice versa. So I'm not going to say she is his better half. She's his other half, and she wants to know if you could live in any of your aquariums, which one and why. But I'm going to expand that a little bit and say, because you want to do terrariums, you want to do all that kind of stuff, which one of your enclosed environments would you like to live in and why?
I mean, I have one tank in my living room that's like one of those corner 54-gallon corner tanks, and it's kind of like my pride and joy, like scape plant tank. I mean, I think if I could pick anything, it'd be that one. That's probably my nicest one. So
yeah. And what would you be in that tank? Would you just be you shrunken down and you can breathe underwater? You've got a little spear gun, and go after stuff, or would you be like a fish? What do you think you'd do if you had the option?
Yeah,
would you want to
maybe a little miniature diver man with a spear gun?
Yeah, that'd be fun, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I always think, especially if you could leave and go get some other fish that you don't really care for to bring back to be the ones that you hunt. You know what I mean? You're hunting those fish.
I got some things growing up top. I can start a little fire, do a little catching cooks up on top.
See, it's going to be like Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, where they had the little, make-believe, the land of make-believe.
Right.
Okay. Brookley Bell wants to know if you have any weird physical traits. Is there anything strange you can do? Can you wiggle your ears? Are your knees on backwards? Or is there any weird things you can do? And Brookley, I like that you've left off the end of that, because she was always worried we were going to take it the wrong way and mean something, inappropriate or sexual in nature. So I think it makes it easier when you left it off, Brookley.
No, I mean, I got a scar from my belly button all the way up to my chest from when they cut on my pancreas. That's about it, really.
That's maybe not weird, but that is definitely a physical trait. Okay, Zenny's next one is, so what would the rest of your life be? Rest of your ideal life, the life that you would love to live, in 5 words. And you could do it like a sentence, like, I hope it is the best, or whatever, 5 words, or you could just use 5 separate words that would describe what your ideal life would be. I bet pain-free is up there. I bet you that would be part of your ideal life.
I'm thinking family, financial security, travel, freedom.
Okay. And pain free, was that one of them as well?
I'll
that-
put
you
that
got
in with.
four,
I'll
right?
put that in with freedom.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Just freedom to do whatever I want to do.
Believe me, I understand that. That makes sense to put that there. Yeah, I understand 100%. 100%. Okay. Oh, hold on a second. That was a weird. Oh, okay. No big deal. Okay. Cody V says, Big Steve, I'm glad you're with us. Do you have a favorite cookie? He's got a second part too. Do you have a favorite cookie? That's a weird. I like it, Cody. Favorite cookie?
Oh yeah, my one of my friends growing up, his grandmother used to make what she called lace cookies, which were like brown sugar and oatmeal, and they were like real thin, like crispy lace cookies.
Okay. I don't know that I've ever had one of those, but they sound good.
Yeah, it's just kind of like a caramelized brown sugar with oatmeal and just crunchy, sugary.
Yeah. Mine was close to that. I don't know if you've heard of no-bake cookies, but they're like oatmeal and like a chocolate type thing, and they harden. It's almost like a candy, but it's still a cookie, and those are my favorite, the no-bake cookies. Absolutely love those. Second part of that was, do you have a classic dream car? Are you a car guy at all? Do you?
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to have a, whatever 2023 like F-350, some big beautiful truck, 4-door truck.
Okay. What about a classic? What about an old one? Is there an old truck or an old car that you'd really like to have?
Yeah, I'm not that much into the older cars. I mean, I can definitely appreciate like the older Mustangs and Camaros and Chevelles, but I don't know that I could really pick out a particular, model or year or anything like that.
That's all the technology that's in. So I would like to have like a Volkswagen, like a Safari Volkswagen bus, the 21 window one, I think, or 27. I forgot how many windows there are now. I never had a Volkswagen bus. Had a lot of Volkswagens, but never a bus. But I would like it to have all the latest amenities. I would like it to have, Android Auto, and I would like it to have, parking assist, and just all that kind of stuff built into it as well.
That's the thing. Like, if I had an old car, I would want it to be like a new car, so it wouldn't be a very accurate old car. It would just have everything in it would be new. So it's like,
Scuba Steve, I just happened to see your message. He just said I subbed to all those on the list. Amazing, Scuba Steve. Thank you so much for doing that. Okay, next up, Scuba Steve wants to know what the best ramen noodle flavor is.
damn.
Do you eat ramen noodles much?
I've definitely eaten my fair share of ramen noodles.
Yeah, me too. I couldn't tell you what the best is. I don't usually make it like, with this flavor that comes with it.
I actually got some the other day. I went to Indian grocery store. I don't know why. I just was walking by and was like, hey, let's see if they got anything weird in here. And they had lots of weird stuff.
Nice.
They had like I think it was like masala flavor and like I don't know, a couple different flavors of cup of noodles that were, Indian flavored. So they were spicy and vegetable flavored, but they were good. I liked them. Something different.
Can you even pick a favorite? I don't think I could. Oh shit.
Nah, I mean, nah. Just any of the spicy ones.
Yeah, same here. Spicy definitely is better. I do like ramen, but I don't ever use like the packet. I do all my own stuff and throw veggies and meat and different stuff in there, and all of that. Okay. Where are we at? Oh, Zenny. Hi, Zenny. Hi, CT. If he had to share his life, home, and work with any fictional character, like a personal sidekick, which one would he pick? So somebody, somebody not real, somebody from a book or a movie, or like C-3PO or something. Who would you pick? It's a great question too. Then he comes up with some good ones.
That's a good one.
There's so many good options.
Iron Man would be pretty cool.
Barbara Bach from back in the day. I mean, I got some choices. Well, I'm sorry, I talked over you. What did you say? Who would be cool?
I don't know, I'm thinking like Iron Man or something like that. Like,
yeah,
I don't.
That'd be cool. Yeah. Especially because you'll be like, "Hey, can you run to the store and get something?" I mean, he would just zoom off and
Yeah, I mean, he could just go get anything. He could pick anything up, carry anything, like just blow anybody up. Like, there's a car in your way, just pick them up and move them. Like,
gotcha.
Hey, go do that. Yeah, I think I'm on Iron Man.
Let's see. Kalish, hi Kalish. Favorite road trick. That's a whole different thing. Road trip soundtrack. So if you're going to be in the car for a few hours. Are you listening to anything specific?
Pretty much any. Like any of the old Eminem stuff or like Dr. Dre stuff.
Okay.
Like 2001 or the first couple like Eminem albums would probably be. If I had to pick something that would definitely get played, that would probably be it.
And that's, we didn't really ask that before, but is that your favorite kind of music then, rap generally, or is it?
No, anymore I kind of listen to like I don't even know what you call it, like political rock. I don't know, like Tom McDonald and like Chris Webby and like Struggle Jennings, and like it's like rock, rap, like kind of.
I don't think I even know any of those. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Those are. I don't know. Jelly Roll. I'm sure you probably heard of Jelly Roll.
I've heard of Jelly Roll. I've seen him. Yep.
Yeah. Like.
Now, could you pick a favorite artist? Can you do that?
I do. I mean, I really do like Jelly Roll, but I mean, maybe like Metallica. Like if I had to pick, like.
Yeah, your very favorite.
Yeah, just like absolute. Just could always listen to.
Yeah.
I guess
that's hard for me. It's hard for me.
That would be a pretty important road trip soundtrack too. Would be the Black Album.
Really, Ride the Lightning would be mine from Metallica. Ride the Lightning. That was one that I really, really liked a lot. Master of Puppets was good. Ride the Lightning was probably my favorite album by them. I just absolutely loved it. There was just something about it that just spoke to me. I don't know. When the first time I heard it, I was like, wow, this is my stuff. Because at the time I was listening to mostly a little bit older stuff, Zeppelin and Black Sabbath and, stuff like that. And then that came around and I was like, oh, yeah, this is good stuff. This is good stuff. Okay. Let's see. Zenny is killing it with the things tonight. Thank you so much, Zenny, with all the questions. You. What's both of your favorite number one curse word? Oh, there's three of these. Okay, so we'll start with the first one. What's your favorite curse word?
Fuck.
Which one?
Fuck.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I just wanted you to say it twice.
Okay.
Mine too, and that's one I use a lot. It's very difficult to not use it in the streams. I give myself one during the daytime. I because that's PG-13, right? I give myself just the one, but I could use a bunch. And, some people say people that curse aren't as intelligent or have a low vocabulary. No, they have proven just the opposite of that. People who swear usually have a bigger vocabulary and are usually generally more intelligent. So swear, people, swear it up. The next was same thing, favorite smell.
Ooh.
Favorite smell. I think I know mine.
I mean, I like the smell of a skunk.
What?
I mean, I like the smell of good weed.
Okay. I wasn't sure if you were going there. I thought, actual skunk. I was like, okay, yeah, that's a good one. My favorite is, and I just told this to Bex today. We were talking about books and such, and a leather couch in an old bookstore. That is my favorite smell. That smells like home. That smells like comfort. That smells like someplace that I could spend hours and hours.
Sounds like an expensive candle.
I actually, wax melts, you can get them on Etsy. They're super cheap. I get them for like $5. I don't have any sitting here. They're basically this type of thing. No, this is just a Walmart brand, warm apple pie. But Etsy, you can get them for like those things for like $5. And I have a weakness for that specific one. Next one is your favorite sound. This one's easy for me.
Silence.
Okay. Silence. I get that. I definitely enjoy that. Where we live, that's a big part. My favorite is my wife's laugh. When I hear her laugh, that's just that's my favorite. And so the reverse of that, she wants to also know what is least favorite of all those too. So least favorite is when hearing my wife cry. Like she had a bad dream last night that she was crying in her dream. I had to wake her up, and that is just a heartbreaking. To hear my wife cry is by far my least favorite. What would be your least favorite sound?
Probably the my work email notification on my phone.
Yeah, that's a good one. Okay, what about least favorite smell?
A commercial kitchen clogged up grease line.
Oh, okay. That's probably a good one. I don't know what. There's been lots of things I've smelled that were just,
I've unclogged a lot of really nasty pipes, and I can tell you, commercial kitchens are the worst smell out there. It's the worst.
I can almost taste it just even thinking about it. I can almost taste the smell. You definitely have a wider range of experiences with that than me. I can't think of what the worst smell would be because there's a lot of bad ones. Probably.
I would imagine those bloody bandage jelly beans have got to be pretty far up there.
But it was weird because you sort of could smell them, but it was like it was just the flavor getting up into the back of your throat almost. It really wasn't a smell, I don't know. That's a good one. I definitely have smelled some really rank stuff in my life, but probably nothing compared to what you're talking about. Because, yeah, I can imagine. So I don't know about that one. And then your least favorite swear word. Mine is the C word.
Yeah, C.
Yeah. That because it just. It's too disparaging. It's just too much. It's just too. There's no with the F-bomb. It's versatile. You can do so much with that. But the C word,
you're cutting really deep.
Yeah, you're, and there's no positive way to spin that. Not at least not in our, like the British, use it a lot differently than we do, and it's not near as bad. And I get that. I'm talking about just from our perspective. That's the worst one for me.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Scrolling down, there's only Oscars. Hi, June. I said hi, June. Hi, June. Star Trek or Star Wars?
Star Wars.
Sorry, June.
I don't honestly don't know that I've ever watched a Star Trek movie show ever in my life.
It's good. It's definitely good.
Yeah, I
It's a
don't.
lot. It's more hard sci-fi. It's more, there's more science to Star Trek than Star Wars. Star Wars is space opera, which I enjoy. I love Star Wars. Don't get me wrong, absolutely love it. But Star Trek is a little bit more, hard science sci-fi.
I was real big into it when I was younger, and then I don't know when they started coming out with all the. I never really kept up with it after that.
We did, but I had kids that were, real close to the time when they came out. So when they re-released them, I took the kids to the theater to see them. And the one time it was only us and like 3 other people in the theater. So that was really enjoyable. That was awesome. But the kids have seen all the Star Wars movies in the theater. So
The coolest thing was the Star Wars ride in Disney World.
never been.
That was like, just being a kid watching Star Wars, you always wanted to feel what warp speed was like, and they had warp speed, and that was like the coolest thing ever.
I have been to Disney World, but they didn't have the Star Wars stuff when I went. I mean, it was that long ago. But Disneyland has been a lot sooner, but Disney World, long, long time ago.
Well,
Okay.
I might have said that backwards too. The one in Florida.
Yeah, you got it right. Yeah, Disney World's in Florida. Yeah, Disneyland's in California. Because we lived in Arizona. So my in-laws, when I graduated, gave us a trip to Disneyland for my graduation from school. So that was when I, got into IT and stuff, and they paid for our entire trip. It was very cool of them. Jenna P wants to know if you could hunt or fish. What would you hunt or fish for the most in Louisiana if you did move there? What would it be that you would?
I mean, I would love to say gators.
I don't even know what they have to hunt down. I mean, I know, some of the general, but what's?
I think probably alligators, but also I'd really like to do a lot of pig hunting. So I know that there's a lot of pigs down there. So.
Oh, gotcha. Do they call them pigs there, or they javelina? I know out west in Arizona they're javelina.
Yeah,
and they get pretty big.
Yeah, they're different. The javelina, they're smaller.
The javelina's smaller.
Yeah, they're kind of like they're like potbelly size type, whereas like regular like feral hogs are a couple 100 pounds.
Well, my father-in-law, I thought it was a javelina. Maybe it wasn't, but he crossbow. He was hunting javelina, and he brought home a giant head, that was mounted from one that maybe it wasn't javelina then. Maybe it was something else. Maybe,
unless I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure javelina
I
was
have
small.
no idea. I have no idea. I just know that the one that he brought home was massive, and it was good. It was piggy. The flavor was piggy, but not pig. You know what I mean? It was a definite different flavor to it.
Oh yeah, I mean I'm sure it's definitely going to be drier and
more gamey, but but still he got it, so we had to eat it. It'd be rude. Dapper Dennis wants to know if there's a historical person that you would like to have a conversation with, and this is a 2-parter too. So somebody from history that you'd like to sit down and have a conversation with.
I always kind of thought I would say George Washington. Like, I think it would be pretty neat to talk to George Washington.
Yeah.
But I'm afraid that it would just turn out to be like one of those, you're just like a normal guy. Like, you're not anything special. You're just a guy that was in a spot and did a thing, and you were just in the right spot at the right time. And
yeah.
But maybe he is something special. I don't know. But I think I'd like to find out.
I don't think that's a bad thing to find out. Uh-oh. You got echo all of a sudden.
I do?
I think it went away.
Hello?
It went away. It's good. Yep, it's all good. I just heard it for a minute. It might not be a bad thing to find out that somebody who did all these great things was just a regular guy, because that's sort of inspirational, knowing that somebody who's just like you could do those things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Unless he's like super boring, he's just like, you know what I mean? You meet him and he's just like, or even worse, he's just a shitbag. You know what I mean? He's just a horrible, horrible person.
That would be the worst.
Yeah, you hear all these great things about somebody, and then that's happened to me. I've met somebody who was sort of like a hero to me, and they were just it was horrible, and they were paid to be at the event too. So this person was paid to be there, and they were just a horrible person. Their wife was super nice, but they were just horrible. And I had my young son with me too, and it just was not a pleasant thing.
It was
Gale Sayers. He was a running back for the Chicago Bears.
Gotcha.
I'm a Chicago Bears fan. Walter Payton was always my hero, mostly because of his work ethic. I talk about him often. He was a running back in the NFL for 13 years, and he missed one single game in 13 years as a running back where they get just bruised and battered. His work ethic was crazy. When he set the record for most rushing yards in a game at like 274, I believe. I'm off a little bit probably on that. He had 104-degree temperature in the flu, and he set the rushing record against the Vikings that stood for a couple of decades. The man was just, his work ethic was second to none, and it was just something I always looked up to. Gale Sayers was a little bit like that as well. But when I met him, it was a massive letdown. And I don't want to tell the story. I've told you before. That was too much talking anyways. This is about you. Also, with that question from Dennis was, is there a time period that you would like to go back and experience? Actually, he didn't say go back. He said, is there a time period you would like to visit? So you could go into the future. It's not saying into the past. If you could go into the future if you wanted. Is there some time you'd like to experience?
I mean, I've kind of always said that I feel like I was born like 100 years after I was supposed to. Like, I guess maybe a lot of people feel that way too, but I don't know. Just kind of like the 1850s, like that just seemed like a really cool time to. Yeah, you had more, I guess, maybe more of an opportunity to make a name for yourself. But I think honestly, I would have probably just ended up like robbing trains or something.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have went the George Washington route. I would have went like the Wild Bill route, or something.
Yeah. Gotcha.
And I would have been a bad guy, but I mean, it would have been so much easier to not get caught back then. Like,
yeah. Because you could just change your name a little bit or something, and and nobody even knows who you are, and. I get you. Okay. Let's see. You know what, Zenny? It looks like you don't have to do the @Rico Stan because that did Dennis's question. I didn't even notice it was lacking the @. So you can just do Rico Stan and it will pop out to me as well. I do see that bright orange. So, I can see that. Okay, next down. Yeah, and Dennis said that. Yep. We call that a blow up. Okay, scrolling down. Xanadu, Barbara Bach, Daisy Duke, or Buck Rogers. I'm confused. Yes, all of the above. Buck Rogers was, I forgot her name. I was just talking about it the other day. I feel like her name was Wilma, but that might have been Wilma on the show. Barbara Bach, though, Daisy Duke, all of the above, right? Didn't Barbara Bach was Daisy Duke, right? But not Buck Rogers. That was, I forgot her name, that played the female lead in Buck Rogers. But she always wore a lot of shiny stuff, and I enjoy that about her. Nathan, we missed you today in the Afternoon Delight. I noticed you weren't there, buddy. Hope you're having a good day. His question is, there's one fish that we all get to keep. That's it. What fish would that be? What fish is the only fish allowed in the hobby?
Wow.
Got you stumped, huh?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, I kind of want to say something like Neon Tetris, but like, that's kind of boring. But Any
I,
other any fish that you have just that of is going to get boring, even if it's the coolest fish in the world. So
I go with guppies because there is so many different ones and different types of tails and different body
yeah,
coloring and colors and things that you could do. So guppies, I think, is a good one. And I bet there's other fish that are like that too. But guppies have been so.
yeah. Looking at it that way, yeah, either maybe guppies or yeah. I think guppies.
So, and that's a two-parter as well. So, what fish do you think shouldn't be allowed to be kept in the hobby?
Whew. Yeah, arapaima.
And because of people releasing them, or what is the reason?
Just you're not one single person. Even 93% of all the aquariums can't even have a tank big enough for a 20-foot fish. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just absurd. It just shouldn't even be a thing. Like the guys that sell them, I don't get it, man. And they know that those fish are going to end up in a 120-gallon tank for the rest of their lives. Like, why?
Yeah. Good answer. I like that because so many times we don't think about it. Especially with like some of the big box stores that are just pushing. My was for the basic same reason was the common pleco, because it is pushed so much by the Petcos and PetSmarts and stuff like that without telling people, what they're going to turn into.
Especially when that fish is $4 and a bristlenose is $5 and it can fit in your tank. Like, there's just zero purpose in having a common pleco. There's just
I agree.
There should be some rule that, like, if the fish gets over 12 inches, it should cost $300. Like, I don't know how they do it, but you shouldn't be able to buy a 12-inch fish for $5.
Gotcha. Okay, I'm scrolling past a lot. And hi, everybody. Thanks. Still, again, we've maintained a lot of people tonight. Thanks, everybody, for coming in and learning more about Steve. Scuba Steve wants to know, what's the best donut? And there is a right answer here.
I don't even know what you call it, but it's like a glazed, but then it's got the peanut butter icing on top. Or a Boston cream.
Okay, you right at the last minute. You caved it there at the last minute. The Boston cream is the correct answer, and I'll say it to your face.
It's a tie. It's a tie.
There is no bad donuts unless it's got raisins in it. Then that's just weird, and you need to definitely leave. But there is no bad donuts. All donuts are good. I love donuts. Okay,
see, I'm the opposite. I would rather have something salty than sweet. If I had my choice, if you had a donuts or bacon, give me the bacon.
What about bacon on donuts?
I'd rather just have the bacon.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I get that. I can be in the mood for, you know what I mean? But the thing is, if you offered me bacon or a donut, I'm taking the bacon and the donuts, and, I'm going to have both of them. New local Austin's here. It's good to see you, buddy. M&C, hello. I'm scrolling down a lot. I think we're getting towards the end because I'm passing by a lot of stuff. Again, do Rico stand for me. Phrasing. Just so it, how far behind am I? Oh, I'm quite a bit behind too. So we're catching up though very quickly. And now it jumped on me. I see Scuba Steve had a question. I think that's where I'm at. Right there. Okay. Scuba Steve, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the highest, how stressed are you? And I think he's, mostly talking about, work. So 1 to 10, where do you think you land on that?
9, 8.5.
Really?
Yeah.
That's not good either. That's not as damaging as what you used to do, but it's right up there, man. Living, having that kind of stress level in your life is just, it's so harmful. I mean, I can say that because I don't have to. I don't have a day-to-day job, so I don't have to. I. It's not like you have a choice, right?
It
You got
gets
to pay bills.
it gets better. I mean, it's not every day is like that. Right now is really bad just because we got some guys out and everything, so we're really short staffed. So that doesn't help either. So
Do you have friends at work that you ever just can cut up with that are like your same rank or whatever?
yeah, that's one good thing about being in this line of work is you get to meet a few decent guys
Yeah.
along the way, but I don't know. It seems like once you leave that company, you kind of lose track of those guys, and then you meet another group of guys at the next company, and
Yep.
now
Yeah.
not very many of them do you really hold on to for very long.
Yeah. I remember every time I would leave a company too and go to another one, we'd have the going away party, and every time they'd say like, "Well, we're gonna hang out again sometime," and I'm like, "No, we're not. We're just not. I don't mean to be a dick, but
Right.
we know it's not gonna happen. It's just not." I really enjoyed your company. We had a good time here, but we were work friends only. We never hung out when I did work here. We're not gonna do it after I'm gone.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess maybe the first company that I ever worked for, I was there for like 10 years, and they did the whole, "Oh, we're family, and it's a family thing," and blah blah blah. And then
Yeah.
you found out that wasn't true.
Yeah.
So then kind of like after that, I've kind of made it a point just to keep work people as work people and friends as friends. Like, I'm not going to get real close to you guys. I'm not that way when you do whatever you're going to do, because you're going to do it. That way I don't get my feelings hurt.
Yeah.
Because you start taking things personally, and it's not personal. It's just business. Like,
Yeah.
so try to keep.
Is it hard? Is that hard to keep it separated? Keep them separated.
It is, because you get to know these guys, and you know their story, and you bond with them, and then they do something, and you got to fire them, and it's like
Yeah.
it's not. That's where you got to, like, there's a line, and I just try not to.
Yeah. It's different for you though, because you are in a management position. Like I said, I never did management. So it would just be people at the same level as me. But I was really good at that because we moved so much when I was a kid that I got really good at making friends very quickly, but also being able to cut ties and just move on to the next place very quickly. Because, I mean, from first grade through 12th grade, I went to 13 schools. And sometimes that was one school for 3 years, or sometimes it was 3 schools in 1 year. So, my parents, my dad wasn't in the military or anything. That's just how he liked to live. So, it's good and bad, because I do make friends very quickly, but also at the same time, maybe they're a little more. It takes me a little bit longer to make deep friendships with people, because it's just going to end soon anyway. So why make those deep friendships?
Yeah.
So I was just curious if you how you did with it. Nathan's just telling me he fell asleep. No, not a problem, man. Not a problem. And I said hi to Grant. It's always a pleasure to see you and Shelby. Hope you guys are doing well. Is Wally sleeping? I don't think he is. He's with Michelle, my wife. I heard him bark a little bit ago. And again, we have a guest in the house, so anytime the guy gets up off the couch or something, or moves around, Wally gets all excited, and I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. Okay, scrolling down. Let's see. We've got 15 minutes left, and Victor, you're welcome. But I wouldn't be live streaming, Victor, if you weren't here. If you guys weren't here, that's you guys being here is what makes this all worth it. So thank you so much. I wonder if Rico made it clap and cheer. I did. I can make it clap and cheer, Nathan, if you know what I'm saying. No, I got a few things like this and like that. It's all stuff built into this Talk Studio. It's just all right there. It's just a button you click. It's super easy. But it's another reason why I do like this Talk Studio over StreamYard. And I said it right this time, Bex, if you're here, because I kept messing it up and saying Talk Space. Talk Studio. Yes, it's if you are streaming and you're using StreamYard, I really think it behooves you to at least check this out and see what it's about. You can save some money. It's cheaper. And the most expensive level they have is $19 a month. The most expensive level StreamYard has is $50 a month. The $19 at Streamlabs here gets you more. So it's worth it. It is. Let's see. Grant says, I'm taking both donuts. I do like bacon on a maple donut. Yes. Zenny's got a question for me, actually, regarding the raisins. Is it a flavor, profile, texture, or both? Yeah, you know what? I don't know. I think it's more texture. I can't stand the texture of them. I love the way that raisins smell. The flavor isn't horrible. It's really just I think it's the texture. I think that's what it is. And it's the only thing like that. Like, I can eat other stuff that's like it.
Like, I don't want a raisin, like oatmeal raisin cookie. I don't want to eat that. But yeah. I do like Raisin Bran cereal. I don't know why. But
I can't do it.
I mean, I got to put a bunch of sugar on top of it. But
okay, I'm scrolling. Jenna P. I see Killer Kitty gave us a $2 super chat. She always does that, Killer Kitty. And you know what, Killer Kitty? I apologize to you. We talked about you doing the focus on. I went today and I was looking at our messages on Discord because I was going to reach out to you. And there it is. And I realized we had said that. So I am going to reach out to one of those days that you listed soon. And I apologize. That's horrible of me. All right. Next up is Jenna wants to know if you eat Scrapple. She heard it was Scotty's favorite food since he lived in Delaware.
Yeah, it's a big thing in Maryland too. I really like it, but I hate burping it the rest of the day.
Okay, Scrapple's not bad. No. My wife's grandpa absolutely loves it. He can only have it very, very sparingly because he's like 95 years old. And it's horrible for you.
Yeah, and it literally is like the head. I mean, because we used to make it when I was a kid, and they would literally just boil the pig head. It's all that stuff. I mean, it's
all that stuff.
It's not the good stuff.
No,
all the stuff that you wouldn't eat.
But it makes it into something that's edible. Yeah. So at least you're not putting. You're not. It's not going to waste. Okay. A lot of chatting.
When I was younger, my dad and he had brothers, so every year they would raise a couple cows and a couple pigs, and then at the end of the season it would be like a whole family thing where we'd all get together and butcher them, and so we used to do all that stuff.
I've never been around that. They do that. Not like you made it sound like a family function. It's a family affair, but around here you can go, just to one of the farms and get like half a cow or something like that, which we've always wanted to do. We've never done. But you get a pig or all that kind of stuff. But I've never been around it when it was butchered. So you did that even when you were young.
Yeah, I mean, I remember being just a little kid, and we'd be down there like making sausage and scrapple and just all smoking bacon and all that stuff.
It never grossed you out. It never affected you in any way because you saw it from such a young age.
Yeah, I mean, we grew up, hunting and stuff, so it was just,
just a little part of it.
All the animals were at my uncle's house, so I never really got to be. I was never there when they put them down or anything. Like, I didn't. But once they were hanging, it didn't matter. Like, I wouldn't have wanted to been involved. And I did that one time a couple years ago with my second wife. We raised some pigs here and slaughtered them, and I'll never do that again.
I don't think I could do it. And I know that that's hypocritical of me because I love to eat the pig. So
I mean, that's like, yeah, it's real. If you're willing to eat it, you ought to be willing to do the whole thing. But
yeah.
After raising them here, like it just wasn't a good feeling afterwards. Like,
yeah, especially pigs because they're so smart.
Yeah,
and they get to be like pets, right? A little bit.
Even those, we bought them with the intention and tried to keep them as separate as possible, but it's just, they're your pets. It's like, let me go out here and shoot my pet.
My son and his wife, my daughter-in-law, I guess I should call her. They just got married not that long ago, this year, but they have chickens, and I asked them the same thing, as if they would, eat the chicken maybe as it got older, or if they would slaughter them, and she was like, no, they are definitely pets for them. So it really is just about the eggs and all the pests that the chickens take care of, because they do eat a ton of bugs and stuff, but they could never actually kill them and eat them ever. They will actually, when the chickens die, they will bury them like a family pet. And she those chickens absolutely love her. They think she's the mama hen, and just absolutely love her. They adore her.
Yeah, we used to have chickens too. Same thing. It was after that one time, I was like, I think we're just gonna stick to eggs from now on. I'll just buy my chicken meat from the store.
Yeah, same. Scuba Steve doesn't have a question, but he has a comment for you, and he said, "Tell him it was a pleasure to skate against him at the Clash."
That was a lot of fun.
It was fun getting to meet Scuba Steve. Nathan wants to know, would you what superpower would you have? Fly or be invisible?
Invisible.
Really? Yeah. That was quick too. Why? Yeah. What's about being invisible that does it for you? That would be the one you choose. How would you use it? For good or bad?
Nefariously.
Yeah. Okay.
You would just see like strips of scratch offs walking out the door, and just a shadow walking into the bank vault. I would use it to my financial benefit.
Okay. Hey, honesty is great. Honesty is great. Let's see. You can have one condiment for the rest of your life, forever. That's it. One. Ketchup, mustard, salsa. What's it going to be?
Yeah, I'd have to go mayo.
I would not have thought that. And that's gross. I do like mayonnaise on tomato sandwiches, but that's about, and I like mayonnaise in stuff. Potato salad and things.
I love like hot sauce, like Frank's Red Hot. Like I can put that on pretty much anything. But I mean, like if it comes to subs and hamburgers, and I think it'd probably have to be probably mayo.
Gotcha. Mine's salsa. I would, that definitely would be it. Aquaguard Zen, hello. Coro, hello, sir. Favorite fish to eat, and would you keep it as a pet?
I would say probably sea bass, or maybe mahi. But I mean, either one of them are ocean fish, so I mean, if I could have some little baby mahis in a tank, that would be super awesome. But,
yeah. I don't know that I've ever had sea bass. I don't think I've ever had it.
It's just a real thick, flaky white meat.
I love salmon. I mean, I think the Chinook is what we have. I don't know what kind of salmon there is here, but Geek Boy wants to know, if you could only bring one of two things to the Clash next year, would it be tongue depressors or raisins?
Definitely wouldn't be tongue depressors. I can tell you that.
Do you know why he's asking that?
Oh, because I don't like them. Yeah, I don't.
Are you in the same boat with the tongue depressors?
Yeah, I don't like those things either.
Okay, you, me, and Jason. I don't know of anybody else yet. There's probably other people, but those tongue depressors will really mess me up.
No, I can't. Like popsicles, I can't. Mm.
Yes.
And then when I was in the hospital for all those months, whoa, come on, guys. They kept giving me popsicles. That's the only thing I could eat, and I had to take the stick out in order to eat the popsicle because I couldn't eat the popsicle.
Yep, I'm with you. Okay, what do we got left? We got just a few more minutes left. You can go to fishfam.link and see the other streams that are going on. I know Bentley goes at 9. I believe Vibes, I think, is maybe already going. I think he started like an hour after me. I don't know if Alex went tonight, but you can go to fishfam.link and see all the different people that are streaming tonight. Still lots of good streams. I do miss Eric Wyrock streaming on Tuesday nights. I hope that he can get to the point where he comes back. So a couple more questions here, and then we're going to take off. And thanks, everybody, for being here. Thank you, Killer Kitty, for the super chat. Steve, if you could grow wings and fly or develop the ability to breathe underwater, which would it be? And what color would your tail fin be? She answered the question for you. Yeah. So can you fly or breathe underwater? Which one would you do?
Yeah, I'd have to fly.
I think so too, but that is a tough one because imagine if you could breathe underwater, but you could also go to the depths. You know what I mean? Like you could deal with the pressure of really and be able to see and be able to actually, if that was the whole thing, that would be a tough one.
Half of that stuff scares the hell out of me.
Yeah.
Swim around it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I don't want to go around whales and giant squid and all that.
Wow. Zenny, this is a tough one. This is this is a rough question. If he makes it to the end of his life, well, if he makes it, I mean, wherever you make it, so there is no if. You're gonna get there because the end of your life is, but a past loved one meets you at the crossover. Right, you're passing over, and somebody, a loved one, meets you there. Who would it be? Who would you like it to be? And what would you like them to say to you?
That's a tough one.
I'm with you, Zenny. Damn you.
Probably my ex-wife.
Yeah. And what's she saying? Damn it, Zenny.
Yeah. She forgives me.
Yeah. Gotcha. Zenny, that's not very nice. That was a tough one there. Please don't ask that one anymore. That's a really tough one. That's a tough one. I don't know who mine would be. Hopefully it'd be my wife, but I would like them to say, okay, now we can start, and that's, things are just starting at that point.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Jesus. God damn it, you suck. So many focus-ons end up in tears at some point. At some point. Okay. Blame James Lipton and Bernard Prevost. Is it Prevost? It's my favorite list of questions. Gotcha. No one gets out alive. And with that, now that you've made us cry, that's a good time to leave. So thanks, everybody. Is there anything that you want to talk about or say before we leave? Is there anything that you want to that we didn't talk about or that you?
I just want to just thank the whole community. I mean, you guys have been great. Everybody's been super nice to me, and it's good it feels good to be part of a group. So just thank you guys for letting me be part of it.
Yeah. What he said. That's exactly how I feel. Exactly how I feel. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thanks for being a great community, and for 99.9% of you that are so positive and supportive and see through the bullshit. Thank you. Thank you so much. Let's see. So, yeah, I don't know what I was going to say. I was going to tell you about the schedule coming up, but it actually had a change today. So I'm not sure what the schedule is coming up. So just keep your eyes peeled. And we'll see. Steve, thanks so much for joining me. Sorry, Zeddy was and made you cry. I'll take care of her with that. And again, thanks so much for hanging out. And I look forward to, having some conversations next year at the Clash again.
Yep. Thanks for having me.
All right, everybody. I'm clicking buttons now. So have a good night. And like I said, there's still a bunch of streams left. So don't, if you're not doing anything tonight, go hang out. See you guys.
See ya.